Let's go on. Let's go on, shall we? It's Topic Tuesday. Okay. This was written by Duke, and he wants to share with you guys a little bit about bicuspid aortopathy. Cool. It's a condition that's often, I can't speak. It's a condition that is often associated with bicuspid aortic valve disease, bicuspid aortopathy, something different. So bicuspid aortic valve disease is when the aortic valve has only 2 leaflets. But did you know that it usually has 3 leaflets, but they can have 4 leaflets? They can have 1 leaflet. It's so bizarre to me. But more commonly, or most commonly, if it's not going to have its normal 3, it's going to have 2. Which is why we focus about that when we educate you on things. But BAV is typically common. It affects about 1 to 2% of the population. It can lead to a more serious complication that requires close monitoring. And BAV is a congenital defect, so it's something that you're born with. It's not something that you can develop. So all of you that have normal tri-leaflet aortic valves, if nobody's mentioned it to you and you've had an echo or a CT, then you don't need to worry about it. It's probably in your report says normal leaflets. So if you find out, which is typically from an incidental test like a CT or an echo, all of a sudden you might find out, hey, did you know you have a bicuspid valve? That's something you were born with, okay? This is what a normal tricuspid valve looks like, and it's sitting right here, right here. This is the aorta. These are the branches on the arch. It sits right here. You have 3 other valves in your heart. You have pulmonary, mitral, and there's another one. Begins with the T. Now I'm confused because I've said tricuspid. It is. I think that's what it's called. Now I can't. I think that's what it is. No, it couldn't be. It's something. It begins with the T. So I'm kind of sort of there, but doesn't matter. Let's talk about the aortic. So this is your leaflets. It's your 3. Just kind of right? This is what a bicuspid looks like. It functions. You don't like find out you have bicuspid at 45 and wonder, am I going to die because I have a valve? You live this long. It's just, it can cause some issues, right? And it's not considered normal structure. Okay, bicuspid, regular, normal, tricusp. It's not. It's called, the valve begins with a T, and I can't remember the name, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so let's just talk about the connection to aneurysms. When you have a bicuspid aortic valve, when you have bicuspid aortopathy, the presentation of this, you're at higher risk of developing an aortic aneurysm. You are, because it has 2 leaflets. I don't really know how that impacts it and why, but you just are, and that's what's important to know. So an abnormal bulging or swelling in the wall of the aorta, remember, that is what an aneurysm is. And over time, having that swell, having that bulge that's been caused by a bicuspid aortic valve, it can actually weaken the aortic wall, which we know about, and it increases the risk of rupture, which we've been told about time and time again, which would be a life-threatening emergency. But regular imaging and monitoring, it's pretty crucial to managing the risk. Pretty normal when you find out you have a bicuspid aortic valve. Link to coarctation of the aorta. Words pretty big. Let's figure out what they all mean. Bicuspid aortic valve is also associated with something called coarctation of the aorta, and that is a congenital condition. It's characterized by the narrowing of the aorta. That's what coarctation, narrowing of the aorta. And this narrowing can actually lead to a decrease in, an increase in blood pressure before the coarctation or narrowing, and reduced blood flow beyond it. So picture your garden hose we've talked about, and if you're developing some narrowing and it becomes really tight, you're going to have that increased blood pressure here and that decreased blood flow after that coarctation or narrowing. And that can actually lead to significant cardiovascular complications if it goes untreated. Why does this matter? Well, bicuspid aortopathy is often silent, okay, until complications arrive, which makes early detection, proactive management essential. So if you or someone you know has been diagnosed with a bicuspid aortic valve, it's really important to work closely with your healthcare provider to monitor for potential complications like an aneurysm or a coarctation of the aorta. I just actually learned something new today. I really knew about the aneurysm, but I don't think I really understood the seriousness of a narrowing or a coarctation caused by a BAV. So that's all I had for you today. Stay informed, take care, stay healthy. Boy, they have a lot of work cut out for them going into September, and there's so much information. I start to smile because I think this, to me, very interesting, because I don't have one, but I like learning about other causes of aortic disease. And so I just thought this one was really interesting, and learning what coarctation of the aorta means. So that is your topic Tuesday.